Okay, we're live. Hi, welcome to Marketing with XARA. Let me see, make sure that everyone is in. Okay, we're good. So this is live training. If you have any questions, feel free to use the chat. We are going to go over our marketing platform here at Layer called XARA. Um, this is what we're going to go over: how to sign in, how to edit your profile, connecting your social media, the Layer marketing bundle, running your playbooks, using templates, sharing posts and designs, how to get support from Zara. They actually have some excellent customer support. And finally, we can end with some questions. Although, if you do have a question along the way, feel free to use the chat. Let me open up the chat for you guys. Feel free to use the chat both here on Zoom and on Facebook, and I will do my best to answer your question. So, first, um, so Zara, like I mentioned, is a marketing design platform. To sign in, you go to Zara.com. That's XARA.com. And then you want to click on login. Now, for signing in, um, we have some really great login instructions. If you go to layergps.com, right, do a quick search for Zara. We have a whole article called How to Sign Into Zara. Um, Now, if you're an existing agent, you will click on sign in, and then you want to click on this little sign in at the bottom. You're not creating a new account. You put in your Layer email address. If that doesn't work, let us know. We can make sure which email address we're using for your Zara account. And then once if it's the first time you're signing in, it's going to ask you to set a password, right? So you would set the password. It's going to send you a confirmation email to your email at Layer Realty. Now, if you don't have an account, now if you don't see one here, please contact us and let us know. Um, if you are a new agent, we will, as part of the onboarding process, send you an email with details on how to sign in to your account. So if you are an existing agent at Layer, go through that process of signing in. And if you are a new agent, we will send you an email as part of the onboarding process. If at any point you have any questions about signing in, if you think you're not getting all of the listings set up, if you're not getting like the emails for your listings, let us know, and we can make sure that everything is working. You can email us at happyagent@layerrealty.com. Okay, so we can kind of move on. I'm gonna log in, and when you sign in, you do have the option of adding a Google account. In fact, that's how I sign in. And because we do have workspace accounts here at Layer, you're able to do that. So you can do it that way, or you can just sign in with your email and password. Any one of those is fine. So what I'm going to go over is the dashboard, just sort of an overview of what the app looks like when you sign in, where to find things. Now, the first time you sign in, actually, I believe I have an image of that down here. When you first sign in, it will ask you for your details, right? For your picture, your name, contact email, website address. Now, you can go in and edit that information. So if you already had made an account, you can go in and edit that information by clicking on the Layer Realty Partners drop down up here, right? So this section here, you can click. And I'm gonna stop my video so you can see the full screen here. You click this and you want to click on Edit Profile, right? When you are in here, you will see your MLS IDs. I'm not an agent, so nothing will show up here, but you want to make sure that your MLS IDs are on here. You can add it yourself too. So if you recently joined an MLS, you can add your MLS ID number and save it. You can add your photo. So if you click on this little pencil, you can upload your own photo. You can crop it within here. And then you can add your information. So first name, last name, etc., job title. You can add even more stuff like your websites, your Instagram. And the reason you want to add this is because some of our templates do take advantage of this information. Um, so if we have like a link to your Instagram, it'll grab it from this section. So you don't have to put it in every time you're creating something. Once you're done, you want to hit save. If you want to do other stuff with your account, you do have an option to change your sign-in details. This is if you want to change your password for whatever reason. It won't show up under this edit profile. You want to find it here under change sign-in details. Here, if you updated your email for whatever reason, you can change it here. It will ask you for your current password, and then you want to put in your new password. If you don't know your current password, you can email us and we can reset the password for you. Awesome. Let me know if you have any questions so far. We can kind of move on to our marketing bundle, which is kind of the main feature of XARA, although not the only feature. I think a lot of people kind of look at this as just stuff for just marketing for listings, but we actually have a lot of templates that we have been uploading, and I'll show you how that stuff works. So when you have a listing on the MLS, you'll receive an email, right? It kind of looks like this section here that says here are your marketing materials, right? And so this includes marketing material for your listing. Now you will get that email once there's a status change. So not just for new listing, but also if there is a hold on, let me turn off these notifications. Um, if you have an under agreement or a sold, you will also receive an email. But it's not dependent on this email, right? Maybe for whatever reason you don't receive this email, um, let us know. But you can always create a playbook on your own. You can run a manual playbook, and that's what that is. Our software is running a playbook automatically, right, based on the status of the MLS. Now, this will then generate, you can click on this button and it will take you over to the listing on XARA. It will show up here under my listings. And again, if you don't see it here, let us know. Now, this my listings section will only show workbooks that have been generated. So, we just implemented, well, not just, but we implemented this new program almost 3 months ago at this point. But if you had a listing that you listed maybe 6 months ago, it won't show up here until you generate a playbook. Now, listings that you have put on market after we set everything up, you should see them show up here. If you don't, um, one of the first things you can do is go to edit profile and make sure that your MLS ID is on here. If you have your MLS ID on there and everything looks fine, you can reach out to us and we can verify with XARA to make sure that everything is working. Okay, so we can kind of move on. Now, you can generate a playbook manually, and in fact, that's what I'm going to do just because I don't have an actual like listing that has been generated, and it's very easy to generate these. Now, let's say you have a new listing. You can generate one automatically by going to this left-hand side. You click on Playbooks, you click on Generate, and then you put in the MLS ID number for the listing. So you let it search, and it should come up. You should see the photo of your listing. You can click on Next. It'll have the listing agent, right? And then you want to run the playbook. Now, when you run a playbook, it does take some time. It's going to generate all of the documents. It does take maybe like 5 to 6 minutes, depending on, if you have a lot of like nice photos and stuff. You can use this time to maybe get up, get some coffee. It will send you an email once it's done. So if you kind of generated it in the morning, you went on, you had a meeting, you will get an email from Zara saying like, hey, your marketing material is ready. Once that stuff is ready, it will show up under your listing. So let's go back to listings, I believe. Um, what was the address on that one? I did generate this one before. It was 3 Serafinus Way in Wilmington. So let's go back to listings and do a quick search here. Now, one thing we are working with, there it is. I was trying to see if we can have a better view. I think you can click on this icon up here that switches it from a grid to this list. It's a little easier to kind of go through. So there's 3 Serafinus Way. And we have a just listed playbook, right? And so we have our flyer, we have postcards, showing sheets. It looks like it's not done generating the whole thing, but I can kind of give you an idea of what these look like. It will generate the social media posts as well. So let's give it some time. Let's see if we can find a different listing that I can show you in the meantime. And then once it has been generated, I can show you the full thing. So here is this property here that we have in, I believe it's Templeton. So this is the fully generated bundle, right? So we have our printing, we have a flyer, and now you can just download this directly as a PDF. When you see this thing, it says, how would you like to print? Um, you can download this as a print at office without the bleeds and crops. If you click on this, it will actually add crop marks. And this is more for if you're sending it out to be printed professionally. You don't really need this on your own printers or the printers that we have at our offices. So you want to click on print at office or home. And here is our listing sheet. Now you can go in and edit the sheet again by clicking on it and then click on edit. Now, this editor is very similar to Canva, where you have access to all of the elements in your design. You can move anything around. You can change any of the text if you'd like. But the advantage of XARA over Canva is that you have access to the MLS. It has a direct connection with the MLS. So that means that you have access to all of your listing photos as well as the listing information. Now you can do this with Canva, but that involves either downloading the photos from the MLS or downloading them from your photographer and then uploading them over to Canva. Everything is here. It's in this little tray and it's all ready to go. Now editing, this is very easy. The way that XARA works is that it grabs the pictures in the order which you uploaded them to the MLS. Right. So sometimes people will upload a bunch of exterior photos first, and that's why it kind of shows it this way for our listing. Now, if I do want more interior images in our listing sheet here, I can quickly grab them from our list of photos here. And the way of doing this is very simple. You just drag and drop on top of where you want it placed. So we'll grab this image here of our living room, drag and then let go, and it will place it here on top. Now you're able to move the photo around by clicking on this little hand that's here at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see, but it's the bottom left corner. If you click on this, you're able to kind of slide the photo around. And so let's grab another image, maybe one of the kitchen. Again, you want to click and drag over. You don't want to let go of the mouse. And now we have it here. And maybe one more of, I don't know, the backyard, another exterior. You can click and drag. Now, if you accidentally let go somewhere, right, it will just bring in the photo and kind of place it on top of everything. You can still grab it and drag and drop it, but you do need to hold the shift and command or option key, the shift and option on Windows, and then it will drag into place like that. That can be a little convoluted. There it is. Yeah. So what I do is I just hit undo. There is an undo button up here, right? And then just click and drag it over. Again, you don't want to let go of the mouse button. Like I mentioned, you can undo, um, and you can also paste in stuff. There is a file option where you can make copies, etc. You can have a lot of the features that Canva has, but you can use it on your listing sheet here. Now, any of this information you can add or remove. If you want to change your photo around, if you want to add some more things here for the description, anything like that, you can change just by clicking in a box, and then it's going to place a cursor, and then you can add your text. You can move around any of the text. You can make things bigger. I know agents always want everything bigger. So you can grab a corner and make it bigger, just like that. Um, you have the flexibility to change any of this. Now, when you're ready to use this document, you can click on download. We can download this as a PDF. There's also a print button, which kind of gives you the same option that we had before. And all this really does is download a PDF. Sometimes you'll get a notification or a warning that says that there were some issues found. Sometimes it'll find spelling mistakes, but I find that the spell check on this is not as good as it can be. Sometimes proper nouns might trigger the spell check. And then in terms of the image, you don't have to really worry about that. You can just click on ignore and continue. Once you click that, it'll download a PDF, right? And then this PDF, you can just Control P to print and choose your printer and print it out. Awesome. So that's the flyer. That's just one of the pieces that we include. But if we go back to our listings, let's see if that other listing is ready. This 3 Serafinus Way. It looks like it is. Like I mentioned, we have a postcard, we have showing sheets, etc. Now, we also have social media pieces, right? So if you want to do a social media post, you can click on any of these. And we have different layouts. Some feature your photos, some don't. Some have more images of the home, the listing. Now you can edit these just the same way as we did before. Click on this edit button. You can also save this image as is, right? So you can just click on save. It's going to download a PNG, which is a file type that works best on social media, right? So a PNG file, it'll download to your downloads folder. In this case, if I do want to kind of move things around or change things, I can do that. And then instead of print, we have an option to share, right? Under this share option, right next to it is that download button, but next to it is share. We can publish directly to social media from your XARA account. So for example, if I want to publish to Facebook, it's going to check my connection to Facebook. And I manage a bunch of Facebook accounts. Obviously, yours is just going to show one thing. Now, one caveat is that you do need a Facebook business page to post to. It's not going to post to your personal profile. I think you should create a business page anyway, right? Just to have it. And you still want it on your personal profile, but the easiest way of doing that is to post to the Facebook page and then share it with your personal account on your own profile. Now, it will grab the image, but it will also give you a caption, a suggested caption. This is done with AI, right? It grabs details from, the MLS information, the description. You can go in and change any of this. It'll add your contact information as well, right? And some suggested hashtags. This is AI generated, so you do want to go through and actually read it and make sure that all the information is accurate. If you don't like what it wrote, you can actually rewrite the caption, and it will use AI to write a caption for you. Once you're done, once the caption is ready, once you've gone in, made sure that everything makes sense, you can click on post, and then this will post directly to your account. I'm not going to do it with this one, just I don't want it to post to our Facebook page. Um, but you're also able to add it to your Instagram accounts as well as LinkedIn, right? Same thing. You want to make sure you choose the right profile, etc. All right, let me know if you have any questions so far. I'm looking at the chat. But it's very simple. Once you have connected your page, right? It's not going to ask you every single time. Um, it asks me just because I manage a bunch of just different pages, but you don't have to keep connecting it every time you post, right? It doesn't have a calendar feature yet, um, but you can kind of sit um, on a weekend and kind of get this all ready to share and post directly online. You can always download the image as well. You can download it and send it over to your phone, and then post from your phone if that's what you want to do. So let's go back to our listing. And one thing about XARA is that when you're on here, you can go to the most recently open things. So you're not kind of always looking for things. Um, this last item is that Serafina's Way folder. All right, so um, you can go in and edit. You can also share directly or post directly from, just clicking on it. You don't have to go into the edit view. If you click on post, again, it'll give you these options for posting on social media. You want to click on one, it's going to grab your account information, etc. You kind of saw what I did before, right? When you're ready, you just hit post. Great. So those are the playbooks. We also have playbooks for just sold, price change, price improvement, under contract. The only one that isn't run automatically yet is the open house. So if you do have an open house, you can generate one of these. Um, it asks you for the date and time of the open house, right? Um, Once you give it that, you can click on next. Make sure that the picture is fine, and then it's going to generate the playbook. So it'll give you very similar social media pieces, except they're about your open house, and it will show the date and time that you specify when you create the playbook. So that's the only one we don't run automatically. We're working with the team to see if it's possible to do it. Um, but for now, you can run these manually again by on this left hand side going to playbooks, right? Then you click generate, right? And then you put in the MLS ID and you can generate it that way. Okay, we can kind of move on. Let me check my notes here. We can go on to our next section. But for now, let me know if you have any questions. Now, as aside from the listings, and again, the listings part is really great. We also have templates. So under this section where it says templates, we have tons of templates, not just for listing material, right? We have stuff for buyers. We have a whole agent branding package that includes sellers guides, buyers guides, listing presentations. Um, we have our layer information brochure. Oh, one more thing for listings, we have our 4-page brochure here as well. We don't generate these automatically for all of our listings, but you can generate one of these yourself. Um, this one is not a playbook, right? It's just one document. So it's going to open it up. It's still going to ask for the MLS ID because it is grabbing all of the information from the MLS, including your photos, your listing description. So let's give it our ID here, and then Click next and apply. It's going to download all the images and put them into our 4-page brochure. So let's give it some time. And there it is. So it has now populated our 4-page brochure. So you'll notice it brings in, all the pictures, your information, the property description, and you can change any of this. So, for example, this text is a little small for our description. I can select it, and then up here under this menu item section, we can make the text a little bigger, right? Once we are ready to print, we can go to print. Then this will download. Again, you can kind of ignore a lot of these issues unless it's a real issue. You can go in and fix them, but we're just going to ignore them. Once it has downloaded, we can then send that out to print. Now for these print out on 11 by 17 paper. You can print these at any of our offices. We do have some 11 by 17 paper. I think it's called tabloid size. When you print it out, you want to make sure that you print it out two-sided, and you want to flip on the short edge, right? So print out one of them first to make sure that it makes sense, right? We're printing on the short edge. We're kind of folding it in, right? This is the outside cover. This is the back. And then this is going to be on the inside. So that's going to be folded in. Make sure that that is accurate before you go out and print like 10 of them, right? So you can generate these by going to template and then 4-page brochure. We recently added this article where Stacy was featured on this RISmedia article. But again, you can go through all of these. You want to see content for sellers, buyers, right? This rent to own, renting versus owning flyer. Now, some of these don't have customization, but you can always add your own stuff on here. You can always add your own information, your photos, because it's all here anyway, right? You're giving it your profile information, right? So you can add, your picture, your phone number, etc. You can find that stuff if you click on agents. You can put in your name, right? Or you can go to the smart fields section here under my profile. This is where you can see the rest of the information, right? Okay, so let's go back. And again, let me know if you have any questions so far. If you're watching this after the fact, you can send us a question into happyagent@layerrealty.com. Okay, so we went over the templates that we have available, right? Again, going to templates, we have consumer brochures, we have a bunch of stuff. Go through it. You can open all of them. You can do whatever you want with them. We also have access to XARA templates, right? So these are templates that have been developed by XARA itself. For example, if you're looking for something more specific, let's look at something. So maybe an Instagram post, right? Or maybe a door hanger, right? You can open any of these, and now you will see different designs. Now, the great part about this is that, when you open this design, it will apply the layer branding to it, right? So you're not stuck with whatever photo that we have here, right? Even though it's, red, right? When you open it, it will apply the layer colors. This particular flyer is about an open house, right? Or this door knocker thing is about an open house. So we'll ask you for the listing ID, right? And so it's going to bring in that information, right? It's going to, yep, there it is. And now we have a design for door knocking. And now sometimes your photo, you might need to kind of move around, right? So it doesn't really cut your face off or something, you can change any of this. You can change any of the information, your contact info. And once you're ready, you can print. They do have a connection with Express Docs, right? You can send it out to them to print, right? And they actually have all the sizing and everything. Um, Now, you do need an account with them, right? But once you have that set up, it's very easy to kind of order the stuff. You can tell them how many you want. I believe the minimum quantity for this one is 25, different coding. Um, and then for checkout, you just give them your own information, right? So that's another way of doing some of these. We don't really do door hangers in house, but you can send them out if you'd like. Again, you can look through all of these. We have different stuff like Facebook posts, we have flyers. Um, one really great thing they have recently added. So let's open up this flyer. They have a QR code generator. I know Canva has one of these as well, but they have implemented one. So let's see if we can use it. So a QR code generator, you can give it any link, right? It doesn't have to be a listing. It could be a link to your own website. In this case, let me see if I can find a link on this for layer. Yep, there it is. So I'm gonna grab this link. So this section here on this left hand side, we can click on QR code. I'm gonna paste in the link to generate a QR code, and just like that, it just generated a QR code. And now we can kind of shrink it down and add it to, maybe we can add it to the back here. Where are you? There. You can add text by clicking on text. We'll do a very quick, they also have some options. Maybe we can do this one here. Right, we can do a click for more information. Maybe make this a little smaller. And now we have added our QR code. We can fix our photo. You can make these bigger and smaller too, depending on your photo. And now, very quickly, we have generated a QR code. You don't have to go to another website to generate it. You can do it all within uh, XARA. Again, right here, click on QR code, and then you can generate it. It doesn't have to be a listing, like I said before. It can be an address for your website. It can be your email address, etc. Okay, awesome. Let's go back. I have so many tabs open. And let me know if you have any questions as I'm going here. So I kind of showed you sort of a good basic overview of XARA. Now there's more stuff, but for now you can kind of play around with that. I'm working to do a more advanced class. If you have any questions, reaching out to Zara support is really great. Um, Up here, we have a little question mark thing that says help. They have tutorial videos, probably better than the one you're seeing here. Maybe they go really deep into things. You can click on this tutorial videos, um, but you can click on help, and they have a bunch of articles, right? So if you need help with a specific thing, you can first do a search. So maybe you need help with logging in. It can give you support for how to sign into XARA Cloud, right? It'll give you instructions on that. But they also have a chat. I see on this lower right hand side, we have a chat where you can see when people are available. But you can always ask a question. They usually get back to you. Um, you can ask them questions. So, for example, if you don't see your listings coming in, and you can always reach out to us, but you can reach out to them. They have a little more direct access to the XARA platform. You can give them a chat. You can ask them questions that way as well. So that's the best way of reaching out to their team. And this is a very big difference between XARA and Canva, where Canva it's almost impossible to get someone, um, an actual real person to help you out. Mostly everything is under help articles. Great. All right. I think that's it for me. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. happyagent@layerrealty.com. If you find we're kind of missing anything, or if you want me to answer a specific question that you might have, let me know. happyagents@layerrealty.com. We can bake it into our next XARA program. All right, so that does it for me. Thanks for joining us. Again, you can find this on YouTube later on, youtube.com/layer training. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.